The desert is flooding, and we're not talking about a light shower out at Uluru. We are talking about more than 100 millimetres of rain in under 30 hours in one of the driest places on Earth. Central Australia is copping a soaking that hasn't been seen in a decade, and there is more on the way. A near-stationary tropical moisture trough is the culprit, dragging a fire hose of humid air deep into the red centre. Meanwhile, South Australia has active severe weather warnings in effect, and Queensland is still cleaning up from last week's chaos. And the south and east are not entirely off the hook as this system slowly tracks towards them. Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, the 17th of March 2026, and I am glad you are here. Today's briefing covers every state and territory data, comes from the Bureau of Meteorology, Weather Zone and AccuWeather. There is a lot to get through this morning, so let's get right into it. Starting out west, as we always do, and honestly, Western Australia is the envy of the nation this morning. Perth is sitting at a very comfortable 22 degrees right now, climbing to a top of 29 degrees this afternoon. That forecast comes from BOM's Perth Outlook, issued at 2 a.m. today, and it is looking like a really pleasant Tuesday all around. Skies are partly cloudy, winds are light this morning, shifting to the northwest to southwest at 15 to 25 kilometres per hour by midday. They'll ease back to light again this evening. Overnight temperatures will fall to around 25 degrees. Worth flagging for anyone heading outdoors, the UV index today is reaching 6, which is classified as high by BOM. Sun protection is recommended from 10:20 in the morning through to 4 to 10 in the afternoon. So, slip, slop, slap. No active weather warnings anywhere in WA today. Roads are clear, conditions are fine. A great day to be in the west. Now let's head to where the action is, because the Northern Territory is a very different story this morning. Darwin is sitting at 27 degrees with high humidity, totally typical for late wet season up in the top end. There will be showers and possible afternoon storms around the Darwin region and western top end today. Nothing unusual for this time of year. But it's what's happening a couple of thousand kilometres to the south that is the real headline of this broadcast. Uluru Ulara Airport, to be precise, has just recorded its wettest single day in a full decade. According to Weather Zone, 76.4 millimetres fell in the 24 hours, ending at 9 a.m. yesterday morning. Then another 34.4 millimetres came down between 9 a.m. and midday yesterday alone. That is more than 110 millimetres of rain in under 30 hours at one of Australia's most arid and iconic locations. To put that in perspective, the average rainfall for the entire month of March out at Uluru is around 33 millimetres. So in a day and a half, Uluru received more than 3 months' worth of its typical March rainfall. And according to Weather Zone, this is the first time since 2016 that Uluru has seen more than 100 millimetres across 2 consecutive days. Now, as of this morning, the Bureau of Meteorology has a severe weather warning in effect for parts of the NT's south and southwest. That warning covers heavy rainfall and dangerous flash flooding in the Uluru region, and it remains active right now. If you are travelling in that area, do not underestimate how quickly roads can become impassable out in Central Australia. Uluru Katatayuta National Park has been closed due to flooded roads and hazardous conditions. Please check Parks Australia before you travel. If you are planning to use the Stewart Highway, specifically the section between Tennant Creek and Ali Currung, that road has been closed. This is the primary north-south freight corridor linking Darwin and Adelaide, so its closure has real consequences for the territory. Now, the Katherine and Daly River systems are also still under major flood warnings, which have been ongoing since early this month. According to BOM's flood warning bulletin and confirmed by Weather Zone, the Katherine River at Katherine Bridge peaked at 19.2 metres on Saturday the 7th of March. That peak was well above the major flood height of 17.5 metres and was the worst flood Katherine has seen since 1998. Multiple sources, including the Land and Weather Zone, report it likely surpassed the 2006 event, making it the town's second worst flood on record. The Katherine District Hospital was evacuated, with patients transferred to Darwin and more than 500 residents sheltered at emergency centres. Our thoughts are genuinely with those communities as they face the long road of recovery and clean-up. Let's cross into South Australia, and the northern parts of the state are watching the skies very carefully this morning. Adelaide itself is sitting at 18 degrees right now, a cool, overcast morning for the city with moderate rainfall and high humidity. That is a significant drop from the heat of earlier in the month, and it does feel like the south is pivoting toward autumn. But it is the northeast pastoral district of South Australia where the critical warning is in place this morning. BOM has issued a severe weather warning that is an orange level alert for that region, and it is not to be taken lightly. The risk is rainfall rates of 80 to 120 millimetres in 6 hours, most likely north of Maree. The exact phrase used in BOM's warning is dangerous and life-threatening flash flooding, and that language is chosen very carefully. We have already seen significant falls across SA Yunta, recorded 58.4 millimetres in 6 hours earlier this week. Loxton copped 43 millimetres in 3 hours. Robe recorded 51 millimetres in 6 hours over the weekend. The ground across much of inland SA is already saturated after weeks of above average rainfall, so runoff will be rapid and dangerous. Towns to watch today include Whyalla, Renmark, Port Augusta, Port Pirie, Clare and Murray Bridge, all flagged in BOM's warning. If you are driving any inland SA route today, please check conditions first. If it's flooded, forget it, every single time. All right, let's head northeast to Queensland, a state that has had one of its most intense fortnights of rainfall in recent years. Let's start at the top, Cairns and the North Tropical Coast. BOM's forecast issued at 8:38 a.m. today shows Cairns sitting at between 26 and 31 degrees this afternoon. There is a medium chance of showers today, with winds east to southeast at 15 to 25 kilometres per hour. Tomorrow looks wetter, a very high chance of showers and afternoon thunderstorms, with winds strengthening to 25 to 35 kilometres per hour. A heads up for anyone outdoors in Cairns, the UV index is reaching 13 today, which BOM classifies as extreme. Sun protection is needed from around 8:30 in the morning and reapply throughout the day. Zooming out to the wider context, the region around Cairns received more than 400 millimetres over the week, ending the 9th of March. According to Weather Zone, on Sunday the 15th, Mossman Treatment Plant recorded 345 millimetres in 12 hours to midday. Rex Creek Intake recorded 337 millimetres in those same 12 hours, extraordinary totals for the region. This followed Tropical Low 29U, which crossed the North Queensland coast near Tully and Innisfail on the 7th and 8th of March. It weakened quickly after landfall, but pushed heavy falls all the way down into the Wide Bay and Burnett regions to the south. According to BOM's Tropical Climate Update, Dunollie in the Wide Bay region recorded 252.6 millimetres in 24 hours on the 9th of March. That was a site record going back 77 years of data, an annual record broken in a single day. Flood warnings remain in effect for the Nicholson and Albert rivers, and the Burnett River at Bundaberg is being closely monitored. BOM's Tropical Climate Update noted the Burnett was tracking at levels with potential to approach the significant December 2010 flood event. The severe thunderstorm warnings that were active for the North Tropical Coast and Tablelands are now being progressively cancelled as conditions ease. But many roads across central and eastern Queensland remain closed or compromised due to ongoing floodwaters. The Bruce Highway, Queensland's main coastal artery, should be checked with QLD traffic before any travel, particularly north of Townsville. Down in Brisbane, the city is at 19 degrees this morning, still recovering from the severe thunderstorms of Friday the 13th. According to Weather Zone, approximately 1,500 lightning strikes were detected within 50 kilometres of the city centre in the 24 hours to midnight Saturday. Around 12,000 strikes were recorded across the state's southeast in that same period, a very active electrical storm event. Greenbank, southwest of the city, recorded 97.2 millimetres as the slow-moving storm system stalled overhead. Conditions in Brisbane today are much more settled, partly cloudy, mild and drier, but some low-lying roads may still have residual water. Please avoid any road with visible floodwater. You cannot judge depth from the surface. Turn around and find another route. Now let's cross the border into New South Wales and the ACT. Sydney this morning is sitting at 22 degrees. BOM's Sydney Observatory Hill Station had live observations current as of 6:21 a.m. today. The forecast through the day brings cloud and some periods of light rain, nothing dramatic, but it will be a damp one for the harbour city. If you are commuting on the M1 Pacific motorway or heading in via the Pacific Highway, allow a bit of extra time this morning. Canberra is cooler at 17 degrees, partly cloudy and calm, a fairly typical early autumn morning for the capital. The key thing for New South Wales today is that the moisture system continuing to track southeast from central Australia is maintaining rainfall in the state's west. A flood watch remains in effect for the Pastoral River in the upper western forecast district. Catchments there are running above normal. Anyone travelling remote routes in outback New South Wales should check live traffic New South Wales and BOM warnings before heading out today. Scattered showers are expected to continue across New South Wales through Tuesday and Wednesday, with more settled conditions expected from Thursday. Down to the southeast now, Victoria and Tasmania, and things are genuinely much calmer this morning. Melbourne is waking up to around 20 degrees. AccuWeather's monthly data for the 17th shows a forecast high of around 20 to 21 degrees. There is a chance of a light shower or two through the afternoon, but nothing significant for Melbourne or its surrounds. Evening temperatures around 13 degrees. That fresh autumnal chill is firmly established for Melbourne now. Down in Tasmania, Hobart is at 14 degrees, Launceston at 15, both looking at a dry and partly cloudy day. No active warnings in Victoria or Tasmania today. And road conditions are normal. The Great Ocean Road and the Hume Highway are both clear. Now let's talk about the bigger picture, because the question everyone in the east is asking is, when does this weather system move on? The honest answer is not as quickly as anyone would like. What we're dealing with is a near stationary tropical moisture trough. Think of it as a corridor of deeply humid air anchored over central Australia. It is drawing moisture from the tropical seas north of Australia, the same saturated air masses that fuel the northern monsoon and funneling them south into the interior. That moist air is then interacting with an upper level trough, a kink in the jet stream high in the atmosphere sitting over western New South Wales. When that upper trough deepens, it lifts the humid air rapidly, cools it and turns it into very heavy rainfall. The reason this event has been so significant is precisely because the surface trough has barely moved for several days. It keeps recycling tropical moisture over the same locations, hence the record-breaking totals at Uluru and across central Australia. According to Weather Zone, the ECMWF model, the European Centre for Medium-Range Weather Forecasts, is predicting significant rainfall accumulations continuing through to Wednesday, the 18th of March. The focus of the heaviest rain on Tuesday will remain across northern South Australia, central NT and parts of western Queensland. By Wednesday and Thursday, the system is expected to slowly begin shifting eastward, bringing elevated rainfall to parts of New South Wales. And then here is the part that southeast Queensland, Brisbane, the Sunshine Coast and the Gold Coast need to pay attention to. As we head into the weekend, there is a risk of heavy rainfall arriving into southeast Queensland, but I want to be very clear about the uncertainty involved. We are looking at an outlook 3 to 4 days away, and that is where model confidence begins to decrease meaningfully. Both the ECMWF and the GFS, the American Global Forecast System, are broadly agreeing that there is a rainfall risk for southeast QLD late this week, but they differ on exact timing and intensity, which is completely normal at this range, so continue to monitor BOM for updates. What makes this especially important is the state of the catchment soils across Queensland and eastern New South Wales are already saturated. Rivers are running high. There is very little capacity in the landscape to absorb new rainfall at this point in time. That means even a moderate rainfall event, something that might normally be manageable, could translate quickly into flash flooding. If you live in a flood-prone area of southeast Queensland or eastern New South Wales, now is the time to review your household emergency plan. Know your evacuation routes. Know what BOM's warning colours mean. Keep an eye on the Disaster Dash app if you are in Queensland. And check bom.gov.au regularly or call the BOM Warning Information Line on 1300 659 210. Let's run through a summary of all active BOM warnings as of this morning, Tuesday the 17th of March 2026. Northern Territory severe weather warning, orange level for southern and southwestern NT, including the Uluru region. Flash flooding risk. Northern Territory, ongoing major flood warnings for the Daly River and Katherine River systems. South Australia, severe weather warning, orange level for the northeast Pastoral district. Life-threatening rainfall rates possible north of Marrie. Queensland, multiple flood warnings at various levels for the Nicholson, Albert and Burnett River systems. New South Wales flood watch in place for the Pastoral River in the upper western forecast district. Marine wind warnings are also active for coastal waters of Western Australia, South Australia, New South Wales, Queensland and Tasmania. Victoria and Tasmania, no active severe weather or flood warnings. Conditions are settled. Western Australia, no active warnings, stable and pleasant conditions throughout. And a final word on road safety, because it bears repeating more today than most. The Stewart Highway between Tennant Creek and Ali Curing in the Northern Territory is closed. Do not attempt to drive it. All access roads into Uluru Katachuta National Park are closed. Check Parks Australia before travelling out there. Numerous inland roads across Queensland, particularly in central and north Queensland, remain closed or subject to inundation. Check Queensland traffic before any road trip. Inland routes through northern South Australia should be treated with extreme caution today, given the active severe weather warning. Across New South Wales, if you encounter floodwater on any road, do not attempt to judge the depth. Turn around. The message is simple. It has always been simple, and it will save your life. If it's flooded, forget it. All right, everyone, this has been a big one today, and the situation across central and eastern Australia is still developing. We will be back tomorrow with a full update on how the system is tracking and whether the weekend risk for southeast Queensland is firming up. We will also be keeping a close eye on the river systems across NT, SA and QLD as they continue to respond to this extraordinary rainfall. If today's briefing was useful, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications. That way you will never miss an update, especially during an event like this one where the situation can change within hours. Take care of yourselves, and remember, if it's flooded, forget it. Stay safe out there, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow.